Rebels capture the brutality of the latest battle on the outskirts of Afabet. At one point, retreating Ethiopian soldiers were forced into this narrow valley where Liberation Front fighters were waiting in ambush for them. There was little chance of escape as flames engulfed tanks and trucks. Burnt-out vehicles blocked the only road to safety. Days afterwards, the bodies have been cleared away, but the valley resembles a vast scrapyard. The mangled wreckage bears witness to the heavy losses suffered by the Ethiopians. In the newly captured town of Afabet, there's evidence everywhere of the close ties between the Soviet Union and the Ethiopians. The hammer and sickle stands at the entrance of the army's now almost deserted headquarters. Soviet officers fight alongside Ethiopians. The rebels took 3 of them prisoner in the recent fighting. The EPLF regards the capture of 3 Soviet officers in the battle for Afabet as a major advance. They say they haven't decided what to do with them yet, and they're still being debriefed. They're not prepared to let us film them at this stage, but it's clear that they're hoping this development will force the Soviet Union to look again at the situation here. The Eritreans' hope is that the Soviet Union will decide that the cost of backing a government that's in retreat is too great, and if they did withdraw support, the supply of weapons to the Ethiopians would dry up. The EPLF says this would put their victory within easy reach. The Eritreans say they've captured or killed 18,000 Ethiopians. These prisoners of war are packed into any buildings that are available, partly to protect them from Ethiopian MiG fighter planes that patrol the skies.
After capturing 2 strategic towns, they've been fighting for the independence of Eritrea for 27 years. The Eritrean People's Liberation Front say they've forced Ethiopian government troops from Afabet and Agodat. Triona Holden has just returned from Eritrea with the first pictures of what the rebels claim as a breakthrough.
Using tanks and guns captured from the Ethiopians, the rebels say this latest assault is their biggest ever in 27 years of war. These pictures taken by them show their fighters advancing, pushing back the Ethiopians, forcing them into an ambush just outside the main garrison town of Afabet. This film shows how brutally successful that ambush was. There were few survivors. Soldiers died trapped in their tanks and trucks as the narrow valley was engulfed in flames. The only road out was blocked by incinerated lorries, so there was little chance of escape. Just days later, the rebels took us to the same valley to show the extent of their victory. An eerie silence has settled over this battlefield at Achurun. Most of the bodies have been cleared away. It'll take much longer to clear away the dozens of burnt-out wrecks that are a testament to the frantic and hopeless attempts of the Ethiopian troops to escape from the valley and the EPLF fighters. You can just hear a distant rumble of heavy artillery fire as the fighting continues at the new front line. This is more than 30 miles into territory that was, until a matter of days ago, held by the Ethiopians. As the fighting continues, the rebels believe they've reached a turning point in the war, but the Ethiopians show...
During the 3-day battle, the Eritrean army advanced its front 50 miles south, attacking the Ethiopians with weapons captured from
مرش نقدمت كابزي
Every night this week.
The ruthless will of the Eritrean guerrillas is the product of a struggle for independence from Ethiopia which has lasted more than 25 years. In the process, they've resisted the full might of the largest army in Black Africa. In a country which is always hungry, the armed forces of Ethiopia consume more than half the nation's budget. There are 300,000 soldiers and a huge armory of heavy weapons supplied on credit by the Soviet Union. The conflict in Eritrea is crippling the nation, a fact which has never before been admitted.
I think any country, any government has the obligation, the priority obligation to keep the country intact by all means. I think this also is the obligation of the Ethiopian government and the Ethiopian people.
But this war is bleeding your nation to death, isn't it?
It is. It is, but what can you do?
The Ethiopian armed forces have been trying to capture this mountain for 10 years. If they could do it, they could very probably drive the EPLF right back towards the border of the Sudan, 150 miles away. But they can't do it. They've tried aerial bombardments, they've tried massive artillery, and they've even tried storming these slopes on foot. The result of that has been not hundreds, but thousands of casualties. This mountain has proved virtually impregnable.